Hey, welcome to the Cutler Cookie Co podcast. This is the first official podcast. We've got me, Joseph Cutler, and my mom, Coni Sue Cutler, joining in for the podcast today. So, yeah, we're really excited. This is official episode 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, here we go. I just wanted to ask my mom a few questions about Cutler Cookie Co., about this business and about herself, sort of a get to know you. So, Mom, Coni Sue,
Yeah.
You have done a lot of things. You have been a hairdresser, you've been a school teacher, a mom, a great mom, and now you are a cookie lady. Tell
That's right.
me how did that? What was your first experience at a Cutler's Cookies at a Cutler Cookie Co?
My first experience with a Cutler's actually happened while I was still in high school. So that's when they opened up. I was blown away by my favorite sandwich was turkey ham and Swiss on a croissant with sprouts and spinach instead of lettuce. I always went in. I ordered it at least once a week, and then I developed a crush on one of the guys that worked there, and it happened to be the son, one of their son, Cutler. Happened to be Jim, my husband now. So lucky for me. But yeah, delicious cookies, great sandwiches, and have been that way for years and years and years. I'm just fortunate enough to be married into the family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, did you ever imagine like your first time, I guess in high school, probably visiting for lunch or something?
No.
Did you ever imagine that someday you would be a co-owner?
Honestly, I might have imagined it. Yeah, when one of those high school crushes that you stalk them, and I would go to Cutler's quite often and often thought about, boy, what would it be like if I could be married to him, and would we ever, would I ever be able to help out in this business? And of course, when we did get married, we did help out in the business, but it was always his parents' business. It was, my in-laws' business, not ours.
Yeah, and that's actually a little bit interesting. So what was the first location or spot that, like, when you married into the family, what exactly was going on? Like, where were you helping out? Where was Jim?
Yeah, we had a location here in Bountiful at what was called the 5 Points Mall. And it was nice. It was fun. And I would just help, my husband, Jim, work in the evenings. So I just put on an apron and served customers, really just starting out. But I did hair full time. I was the manager of a big salon in North Salt Lake called the Dollhouse, and loved doing that. And then also started having kids and went part-time and owned my own salon after that. So I didn't work really at Cutler's a lot. And I wasn't involved in the bakery at all, just sandwiches and soup.
Yeah, I remember growing up in Woods Cross, you built out the basement as like a hair salon, hair studio. I don't know what you would.
Yeah, just a little hair studio. Number one goal was to be a mom. And that's been
She's
totally
a really
worth
good
it.
mom.
Yeah.
Still
Thanks,
is a
Joseph.
really good mom.
Because I got good kids.
Okay, so, I was really young, but I remember a little bit of a location in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
I remember a little bit of a build out and operations at a location in Centerville. And I remember a little bit of multiple, it seems like bakeries or cookie factories kind of scattered throughout North Salt Lake and Woods Cross, kind of one after the other. Without going into like crazy detail for each of them, give us just a little bit of a timeline. So 5 Points Mall is when you first married into the Cutler empire and started helping out.
Yeah.
And then where did it go after that?
That was such a long time ago, but long story short, Jim, my husband, he had a lot of support from his dad to open more stores, or he supported his dad. They supported each other to help grow the business and open more stores. Your dad is really a strong has a strong entrepreneurial, way about him. So we started out helping his dad build another store. Oh, I want to say it was the Salt Lake store first, out in Salt Lake City, right on the corner, 2nd South and Main. It was awesome. Did really good until they shut the road down for about a year or more, but we ended up leaving within about a year because we weren't getting that passive, enough
they
driving
completely
business.
shut down the street, right? And
Totally.
it was difficult walking traffic.
Yeah, they closed the
'Cause it was
sidewalk
just-
and everything.
so you weren't getting cars
months
or,
and months and months. Yeah.
or pedestrians.
Yep. So that closed us down there. We opened up another store. We bought a gas station location in Centerville, and Jim's dad helped him build that into another Cutler store that he allowed Jim and I to manage. So even when I did have kids, I started managing that store during the day, and Jim would go help out at the bakery. So that kept me pretty busy for a little while.
And that Centerville location, I remember probably a little clearer because I think I was a little bit, maybe around
You were
6 or
old enough to remember. Yeah.
maybe 8, almost 6, 7. But I remember you would bring us to the store you would open in the morning and we would get like an oatmeal chocolate chip or something and a thing of chocolate milk. And that was one of my favorite breakfasts growing up before school. And then it seems like you'd then go and drop us off at school once it was time to go to school, right?
Yeah. Because we're up bright and early starting, we'd make all the salads for the sandwiches and, green salads and soups, all of that made fresh every day. So yeah, we'd get up early and go do that and then take you to school.
And then from the Centerville location, Jim, Dad, kind of pivoted career-wise and decided to do home loans instead.
Yes.
And that's I don't know how much comment you have on that, or is
I think it was a good move for him. I mean, I think his heart has always been with food and with Cutler's business. He's always had a vested interest in it. But the family was growing. A lot of his, all his other siblings, he's got 4 other siblings that all wanted a part of it. We're all having kids and we're all, needing to, branch out on our own and have our own businesses. And it got complicated to a point that, your dad and I were like, well, we don't need to have a piece of that business. Let's let the other siblings, have at it. And your dad had a good friend that did loans. He was an awesome mentor. And taught your dad all the ropes on how to do it, and he was good at it. It actually allowed us to get us into a house and made us a good income. Where if we had stayed with Cutler's, perhaps to share those few small businesses with all of his siblings didn't leave us a very large percentage to really grow and raise a family that way. It was hard for everybody to work together and make it a big thing. So
yeah. Totally understandable.
yeah.
And so we ended up moving to Riverton.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where his loan office was located, out South Jordan. But we moved on that Riverton South Jordan border, and we were there for like 3 or 4 years, maybe. Seems like you still did a little bit of cosmetology, hairstyling there.
Yeah.
At a couple different salons and a little bit in the basement of that house as well.
Yeah, and that's when I started homeschooling as well, was when we moved to Riverton. So you would have been 3rd grade, 4th grade?
Yeah, I think I was
5th? Cassidy was just going into
grade,
junior high, so maybe you were anyway. Yeah, I decided that I wanted to I just love watching my kids grow and learn, and it bothered me to send you to school and not be able to be the one to see you learn how to read or learn, algebra or whatever it was. I was like, I just want to do that. I just want to have my kids home and learn right along with you. So, yeah, I became a stay-at-home mom. That was fun.
And eventually we made our way back to Bountiful. And even though your kids grew up, graduated from homeschool or other online schools, things, school type things,
Yeah.
you still wanted to pursue that. You still had that desire to
Totally. Like I
watch
said,
education or participate in education.
Oh, for sure. Love it. Love it. So yeah, I went back to school. Is that kind of what you're
Tell
leading
us
to?
about
Went back
that.
to school, got my bachelor's degree, and became a public school teacher. I just love working with kids. So that's been one of the most, probably the most fun thing I've done. It's homeschool my kids and help other kids learn. Watch the lights turn on in their eyes.
That's really cool. And you were doing classes at your house, and then you also started to teach. Was it second or third grade or?
Yeah, I taught third grade in the public school system, and then all the classes I've done at home were mostly history classes, some speech and debate kind of classes, things like that.
Like private school style, like very almost mentorship.
Very
style.
private. Joseph, you homeschooled when homeschooling wasn't cool, and it was difficult to find support groups and mentors. And once, especially for boys, once they get to be around 12, 13 and older, you really need more than just your mom mentor. You need a lot more people than that. So yeah, finding that support every year of school was different for you, depending on what we could find and who we could find, mentors to support you. We found some pretty good ones.
Okay. So now here we are, 2025. You are not teaching anymore.
No.
And you're not cutting very much hair. In fact, you just spent a year almost recovering from some back problems.
From some surgeries,
yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, who would have thought? I don't know where this jump into surgery all of a sudden thing, but yeah, I love to, I'm passionate about health. I have exercise 99% of my married life. I get up and I exercise. I just really don't like to miss a workout. I love to be healthy, look for the right kinds of foods and try to just do it right, diet-wise and exercise-wise. And yeah, just one Saturday I was putting away some of your dad's weights, some dumbbells, and picked up a 50-pound weight in the wrong way is what I think I did. I'm pretty sure that's when it happened. And the next morning I was numb all down my left leg, my butt down to the bottom of my foot. And it didn't go away for about a month. In fact, it just slowly got worse. Found out it was a pretty serious, what do they call it? Cauda equina syndrome, which would mean that I was losing control of my bladder and bowel control and, just going down a dangerous path. So immediate surgery happened. 3 months.
The cause was basically like a
just
worst case scenario,
bad
herniated
disc
like
that
normally
got in the way of the nerves.
If a disc herniates, the fluid goes out one direction, right? But in your case, it went out the opposite direct, or the way that it doesn't normally explode.
Yeah, just build out down onto the nerves
directly onto the nerve, which is very uncommon.
Yeah,
but and
only
unfortunate.
10% of people that herniate a lower disc get that syndrome, and I was lucky enough to get it twice. About a 3-month time period. Lucky me.
But here you are back. I mean, you're not squirming too much in the chair.
No.
And I mean, I feel like your lifestyle, a lot of what I remember of my mom growing up is her being very health oriented, very fitness oriented. I think a lot of the habits that I've developed over my life have been because I've seen my mom and my dad as well. Both of them are very healthy individuals, very health conscious. But I always think it's kind of funny that here we are now, 5 years ownership at a cookie and sandwich shop. And I mean,
I think it really stems from a love of food that your dad and his whole family have. I mean, when when do you go to a family birthday party and 3 of the siblings, dad and a couple brothers or something, they all make a different kind of cake from a different box, is it Duncan Hines? Is it Betty Crocker? What is it, And they have a taste test to compare which box of cake mix made the best cake or who could make the best food. I mean, they were just so picky about food. I was like, this family's kind of strange, But like I said, that's been an interest of your dad's. He's always had his heart in the business. And when we moved back to Bountiful from Riverton, his mom relied on him a lot just to help with the computer side or the technical side of helping Cutlers grow. Will you fix my menu? Will you, do these things for me? So, Dad slowly maybe got dragged back into it sort of, but I think he kind of wanted to at the same time. And we also, you and Cassidy, your older sister, were old enough to start working there. Then Sophia did. So, yeah, our family just started to kind of migrate back into Cutlers. I didn't really have an interest in it. I was teaching. I was still homeschooling Kip, your youngest brother, and teaching at the, full-time at public school, loving that when your grandma and grandpa offered the store to us, the bakery and this deli. And yeah, I'm like, well, I'm teaching, but I'm on board. I'll support you guys. I'll help you. But, obviously I wasn't a whole lot of help or support that first year. I can remember talking on the phone with you that first year while I was still teaching school. And I remember distinctly you said something like, Mom, do you realize that you're getting a paycheck from Cutlers, but you don't really work there or do anything about, to get that check? I was like, well, yeah, but your dad does a lot and I support him. So, 50-50, you and Jenna, me and your dad. And you said, yeah, but it'd be really nice if you worked with us a little more. For some reason, that kind of stuck in my head that I thought, I think they could use a little more help. And I just really felt a pull to that. And I'm glad, I was happy to quit teaching school and come join.
I feel bad if I'm the guilt that brought you out of your true passion of teaching.
Don't take that guilt.
I do know, and I can say like 100% accuracy that my mom helping us out here has been one of the biggest reasons that we've been able to grow over the past 5 years.
Oh, that's sweet.
I feel like we were heads with our chickens cut off. I mean, we just had no idea what we were doing. My mom is a very systematized person. I mean, I remember like almost every Christmas I would get a yearly planner as a Christmas gift. And
who wouldn't want one?
That was one of the things that you pushed really hard in schooling all growing up was like schedule out each day so that like what you're going to work on at what time.
7 habits of highly effective kids.
Yeah. and not just that, but also like, let's work out like the curriculum, like, okay, you're going to study history at this time. Well, what is that going to look like? And I've seen a lot of that transfer over to the store here where when you started helping a lot more, we got a lot better schedule set up here in our bakery. And a lot of the systems is like, okay, so you're going to be depositing cookies at this time. Well, what does that look like? What's
long
step
does it
1?
take?
What's step 2? What's step 3? Yeah. And how long does each step take?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was able to really grasp that and write it down on paper. And it's amazing how much easier it is in a work environment when you have step 1, step 2, step 3 style instructions, systems in place that can really, as an employee or even as one of the owners, I don't deposit cookies very often, but I know that thanks to my mom, there's a binder that I can go and open and I can see, okay, this is how to deposit cookies. And same for my mom, if she wanted to come over to the deli and make a sandwich where, I mostly am over at the deli doing the sandwiches and working the retail side of it. And if my mom ever needed to come over and help with that, there's systems. And a lot of those systems, we kind of felt pressured to make because we saw how good my mom was doing at the bakery systems.
That really is a passion for me as well. I love systems. I love being organized. And I think that's part of why I like homeschooling and I like teaching is because it's a lot of building systems. I think any teacher would know that. Yeah, to be a good teacher, your goal is to have a classroom of 30 third graders, and to be able to come in from recess and they know exactly what to do, where to go, how to sit down, how to act, where to put their pencil, all of that every day, every single subject that we're learning, every hour that we go to is done in a system. And if you don't have strong systems in place that you practice often and revise and update often, the kids are out of control. That it's not a fun learning atmosphere. So a lot more can get done with a system, and I just love being able to do that. And I know, Joseph, you have a passion for this as well, but figuring out how to do things quicker, faster, better is just fun. It's just fun. Sometimes
it's very rewarding when you can
it
take a 45-minute system and crunch it down to a 15-minute system.
Totally. So when you mentioned the depositor and how we deposit our cookies, and we used to have 2 people doing it, and I remember doing it, and we had 2 people, and Joseph, you would come in and be like, what if you could grab the paper and the cookies at the same time? There were things that we felt like we needed 2 people, and Joseph had an idea that maybe you could do it just one person if these were placed in the right way and done. And that started to really get, the wheels in my head going, and like, oh, we could do this with just one person.
Well, and some of that is rooted too in just like, how can I save money and work with less people?
It is a motivation.
It's like, it's a cheapo thing, like, okay, so if the depositing, let's say you do it with one person, it might take 15 minutes longer, 20 minutes longer even. But if that is making it so that only one person has to do it, now you're only paying one person's hourly to do that depositor instead of 2 people's hourly just to get it done 20 minutes quicker. It doesn't really, the math still doesn't work out to have you do it with 2 people unless we're making so many cookies during the day. And there are times occasionally when we double up on jobs because we need to get this done quick because we have so many cookies that we're going to be making.
Right.
But for the most part, we can get by with a job maybe taking a little bit longer if it means only one person has to do it.
Totally.
Because that is more efficient.
So I think that really helps bring success to a small business is not just systematizing, but learning how to do things quicker, better, faster. Money is a great motivator. So we used to have a depositor, you remember, where it took 3 people to use, and it took
It's called a Cookie King depositor.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that funny? Cookie with a K.
And it took up how much space?
It was like a quarter of the bakery.
Yeah, it was huge.
It really was. It was a big, huge conveyor belt that would fit like 4 cookie trays on it, 4 baking trays, so like 24 by 16. I think is the size.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
And it took a lot of time, and it took a lot of people. And I don't know whose idea it was to buy a smaller depositor that took up less space, not realizing, I don't know, that it was a lot faster. And we were excited that it only took 2 people instead of 3. And now we've got it down to, wow, we can deposit a lot really quick with just one person.
So the depositor we're using now, we actually got it. It was a floor model that they would take around. It was like an expo model.
Yeah.
They would take it around to expos to show off. It's a Dayton Formatic. They make them in the UK.
It's a biscuit depositor.
It's a biscuit depositor. We actually found it on eBay. So we paid, I think we paid like $800 less than it would have been brand new. Still a hefty piece of equipment. I think it was like $16,000 all in.
Yeah.
On a used eBay buy was probably the sketchiest purchase. I was the one that was kind of pushing to get it. I've never been more nervous ordering anything in my entire life. I mean,
a large, expensive piece of equipment
used from eBay
that could make or break.
Yeah,
our business at that point.
But it's actually, and to my mom's point, now it takes up less space. It's faster, and I think one of the equally, if not even better aspects of it is it's more accurate. We can get each cookie that goes through that depositor, cookie dough disc, is within a quarter of an ounce.
It's seriously
difference from each cookie that goes through.
Yep. All the
sorry,
cookies
not even a quarter.
Not even
of an
a quarter.
ounce.
All the cookies are pretty much the same weight.
Yeah, they're off by
cookies.
3 ounce cookie and not a quarter of an ounce. They're off by like 0.1 maybe.
Yep.
And that makes a huge difference in our cost. because, you know, the previous cookie depositor, it would punch 4 cookies at a time, but across that row, we would have one cookie would weigh like 3.4 ounces and the cookie in the middle would be like 2.9 ounces. And we're trying to hit a 3-ounce cookie, right?
Every time.
For our disc, every single time. And when we've got this depositor that even though it's punching out 4 cookies at a time, we're having to go back through and pick a little piece off of the one that's 3.4 ounces and put it onto the one that's 2.8 or 2.9 ounces.
That was the extra person
That's the extra person. You have to literally have them
weigh
take
the
each
cookies.
disc off the tray and weigh it. But now with this one, you know, if there's any difference at all, it's maybe like instead of 3 ounces, it comes out at 3.1. And it's like, I can handle a 0.1 difference every now and then. But honestly, you know, out of 10 cookies, you maybe get one that is that far off.
So yeah, it's really nice that we have all 4 of us in this business, your wife and my husband as well. And I love that we know each other well enough that we kind of understand each other and work well together. But being able to take risks and also to research technology, the new what's out there that can help us be a better business, and just all the different talents that come in to it from the 4 of us. That's really helped.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun every day so far.
So far, I like it.
So we're opening location number 2 really soon, and I think we'll save more of that discussion for a later day. But just to kind of close things up, I think a really important question for the cookie lady, the cookie mom, what is your favorite cookie?
Oh, gal, honestly, it's just semi-sweet chocolate chip. That is the classic, most delicious cookie. I love chocolate, but semi gives it that little bit of that bitter dark chocolate flavor with a sweet cookie is absolutely the best for me. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't love a lot of frosting.
Cookie connoisseur.
Yes.
Cookie Coni Sue.
That should be my name. Maybe.
Yeah.
Cookie connoisseur.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you, Mother, for joining the podcast today. We'll try to get some more episodes out soon. This has been the Cutler Cookie Co podcast, and you can find it on all of your podcast sites as long as those are YouTube, Apple, or Spotify for now. But yeah, make sure to follow us. You can look up Cutler Cookie Co podcast. You can find Coni Sue. Tell us how do they find you on your socials?
You know, I've got the Cookie Lady on TikTok.
Cookie Lady on TikTok.
I do have
at Coni Sue Cutler.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cookie Lady. Any other socials?
Yeah, I've got Facebook and YouTube as well at Coni Sue Cutler, or just Coni Sue Cutler.
Cookie Lady, watch out for her.
Anyway.
And then you can find me and you'll find clips of this at Cookie King Joe on all the socials, or Cutler Cookie Co on Instagram and Facebook. So that's it. Break. Ah.
Woohoo.